So boom. Like, subscribe, bell. Get it out the way. Knock it out now. Cause shut the fuck up with the booze. Hop in the whip. We going for a ride. I do not fathom being able to condense this entirety. And when I say entirety, I mean every point of every rational level of discourse, because I'm uploading this video tomorrow. I know I'm gonna literally go after and just edit the shit. I say that to say that this conversation is developing. And I need to preface this conversation with one thing. There is a such thing as a black people's conversation. And sometimes not everybody should be put in the fucking round table. Everybody shouldn't have the rotation with the blunt. I got the Cali Kush here. I don't know what you're doing in life. Fix yourself before you approach me, because there's some conversations that you just can't have. Now, I wanted to invite Olorinati Olayemi to this broadcast to do this piece with, but I think this is what I'm just going to send to her and say, look, I did it. So shout out her. I'm not really looking for people to put me on, but you know, it's cool when it happens because, you know, we all grew up together. Today we are going to talk about the black people versus Palestinian voting. Yo, there is, fuck the entire video. I'm just gonna give it to you straight, and then we'll build on how I got here. Like that better. I think this is all a psyop. I legitimately think that there are like legitimate people who are actually expressing themselves, and the people who are misconstruing what you're about to hear and making all these cases left, right, up, and down for different things are all manufacturing this because there needs to be some type of shot towards Kamala. Now, I don't mean this to say that people don't have legitimate grievances, but when we start from the origin and work our way to where it's become, you will immediately see a disconnect in like the point that's being spoken about. But in order for me to bring that to you as relative as I can, it requires me to also know that you are not going to agree with some things that I might say. Not because you're willing to have this conversation, but because you're not prepared to have this conversation. Because things that I might say are going to rub you the wrong way because you still have a mindset that hasn't fully let go of all types of things. I'm not here to be a therapist. I'm not here to be a social worker. It's been 4 years. Why have I never prefaced a video with this before? Because it's very, very, very coded. And you will miss a lot of these codes because there's never been a time for you to ever experience this. It's okay to have novel experiences in 2024. Also remember that there are kids now, just now this year, getting on the internet. That's all I'm going to say. Let's start from the beginning and see where the fuck we go. Now, for those of you on the YouTube that have already liked, subscribed, and hit the bell to stay notified, I will be probably cutting out most of the silences that exist within this video. But for my Twitch audience, they're gonna have to suffer while I look up everything. And in order to make the YouTubers suffer just as much as my Twitch audience suffers, I'm not cutting the pauses out. So, while I might cut my words and get all the silences out, you're going to see everything I click if it got volume to it. If I mutter to myself, you're going to hear it. Let's go. This is the origin. I'm not even going to explain it. I'm just going to play it.
I never thought I would be one of those people that comes crying on the internet, and if my English is not comprehensible, it's fine. It's not my first language. But this has to be said. I'm so sick. I'm so sick and tired of Americans playing your identity politics. I'm so sick of it. You were all able to comprehend pinkwashing. You were all able to comprehend how using one's identity in the name of flying. You were all able to comprehend how pinkwashing is fucked up. That killing people in the name of something is fucked up. You were able to comprehend it when it came to queerness and pinkwashing, but you're not able to comprehend it when it comes to race. You're coming on the internet, telling Palestinians how they're playing oppression Olympics, how there's other genocides. We are very well aware. We're from the global south. We are aware to what's happening. I'm fucking half Iraqi and half Palestinian. We are aware of the oppression that's happening, and it's never because of us, it's because of you. It's fucking because of you. If It's your government. It's the people that you keep voting and it's your tax money. I've never been in the US and I never fucking will be. Never fucking will be. You guys are fucking whack. You're insane. You're so beyond selfish. It's fucking insane. A black woman in fucking presidency is not gonna save us. And no, I'm not fucking saying vote Trump in. Fucking do something. Do something. I'm so sick and tired of this. Do something. It's your responsibility. What more do you need to see? What more images need to come out of Sudan, Congo, fucking Palestine, any of those countries? What do you need to fucking see to fucking start acting and realizing you're the fucking problem? You're the fucking problem. No one's don't policing you. No one's telling you not to fucking speak up. Speak up, but do not speak up when it comes to oppressing my people. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck anymore. It's fucking also white people. It's all of you. It's fucking all of you. Every fucking race in fucking America has oppressed us. Black people also wear a uniform and get on a plane and come to our countries and kill us. You vote the same fucking melanated fucking people into government that sign papers to kill us. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it. You are our colonizers. I do not want to fucking hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm done. I'm fucking done. We've watched our people die for fucking years. We're not the people that oppressed you. Instead of taking a second to think how fucking identity politics is so fucking toxic and is killing people, you're playing into the entire fucking agenda. Step by step, you're all fucking brainwashed. You're all fucking ridiculous and fucking pathetic. I'm so fucking done. Done. So fucking done. You're all the fucking same. All of you. Every single one of you. Every single fucking American is complicit. And I'm done. You're all fucking complicit. You're all complicit.
So, unwrapping that would take thousands of minutes. There are many things that I think were expressed out of her. And remember, English is not her first language. There was a lot of raw emotion in there. And why I say it would take thousands of minutes, it would take hours, because I don't feel like this is not a dialogue that she is trying to have with you. She is screaming at you because nothing is stopping this. Every time y'all get excited about shit, it doesn't stop the bombing. No matter who you sign into presidency, for some reason, it just keeps happening. So you have to change your focus. You got to do something else. But, like I said, we're about to start with the shit that you're not going to agree with me. She's correct, by the way. She's correct, by the way. People honed in on the part that she was most right about and decided to make it content. Black people are colonizers now?
Black people also wear a uniform and get on a plane and come to our countries and kill us. You vote the same fucking melanated fucking people into government that sign papers to kill us. I don't want to hear it anymore. Our colonizers. I do not want to fucking hear it.
So, literally took it out of context. Now, the comments might have sorted themselves out here, but they never sorted themselves out on the first post. I want you to focus on this dynamic real quick. Zoom in and get real deep into this angle because we about to go cinematic with this bitch. This is the thing that led me to believe it was a psyop. Because this sentiment seems to be the thing everyone in the comments is focusing on, every stitch is focusing on, every reply is focusing on, and I don't know if y'all are just deaf. Or like, have we actually reached a point where you will be confronted with a non-American like viewpoint on the way that we do shit in media and day-to-day activities, and you will be insanely offended when people say, you know, y'all are extremely privileged even though you're struggling, right? Like you suffer, but there are things that you don't have to suffer with. So let's rock. If I was wrong, if she was wrong, then what I'm about to read to you shouldn't be the replies to it, but they are. We're literally forced to choose the lesser of two evils in this situation. What are we supposed to do? Before I even open that comment up. The first thing I would say is there any type of community / nationwide power we could have to force two people to not be the lesser of two evils, but we pick the best one for the job? I told people a long time ago and I keep referencing this video every single goddamn day. I should just repost it to the timeline. I've told people multiple times that Republicans, if they don't enact their strategy perfectly and put everything to the test of what they've been saying they want to accomplish, if they don't get their Nazi Germany moment in America, they're a dead party. You can't turn into anything else because all your threads are deeply connected to Jewish people, the deep state, the Democrats are pedophiles, like all that shit. You can't walk that back, and you definitely can't walk it back in a month or two. You can't just pretend, because that's your brand. People pay you for what you're about to go against. That party's dead. If the Democrats win, they are dead in the water because in the next 4 years, Kamala has to be a one-term president. Like, we voted you in to stop Trump. Now, Trump's not a threat. Now we're just going to expose you for who you are. You have to step down. You let somebody younger do it, but somebody older than you gave you the spot. Now you, the older person, give it to another young person. Let's get a 40-year-old president in here. Let's get a 35-year-old president in here. Let's get a Gen A or, well, you know, I don't even know the fuck it is anymore. I'm millennial. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Oh, man. Sorry for that. Had to drop my ashtray all of a sudden. The world is not kind to me. Let us continue. This framing has led me to the point where I started reading the comments and reading some of the replies, which I'm not even gonna pretend my girl done liked all these videos, so that's the only way I'm following what's going on here. We're literally forced to choose the lesser of two evils in this situation. What are we supposed to do? You talk about Sudan and Congo, and in the same breath you call black people colonizers when there's anti-blackness in all cultures. Choose your words carefully before you speak. Like what? Ma'am, I can't even afford to eat. Calling black people colonizers is crazy. I'm starting to not give a fuck about this Palestine shit because y'all want us black Americans to take the blame for all the shit going on in your land that was caused by white Jews and white people. So what then exactly are we supposed to do? Sorry, us black Americans have our own battles to fight here in America. I'm sorry for your pain, but you really wanted us to help by sacrificing our own democracy. We're fighting for our lives here. Our black and brown boys are being murdered in 1.2 seconds. American Indian. Why do you, I don't even get the language of that. Why do you think black people are at the forefront of every protest about race and ethnicity of how people of color are treated in America or other countries? That's because we live it here. I don't believe it's possible to magically change how the United States works in 80 days. Blaming us citizens for a genocide rather than BB him fucking self is truly foul. Not okay. Baby, we trying to help you, y'all. You don't want a Trump presidency. Huh? Do what though? Please lay out the detailed plan. You assume that a black woman as president won't help? That's one issue you have. Unfortunately, the USA is built on blood and indoctrination. None of them are prepared for a revolution. They need to burn that thing to the ground. American government is evil. Israeli government is evil. They are monsters of the world. They are child killers. They make me sick. But evil is beyond Palestine. Have you lost your mind? Kamala Harris is no better than Trump. Please do your research. They are all in cahoots with each other. Project 25 has been happening to black people since this country was founded. Kamala isn't perfect, but Trump would actually be a lot worse to Palestinians. The city of the same just shows you're uneducated. Would you prefer Project 2025? So this spawned something, and I never thought that I would have to think about the world that it spawned. But there was really and truly no stopping this. It became this crater hole of I think that people saw what they wanted to see and started this discussion at a point in time of reference that wasn't really viable to them. Because how dare some brown person from another country go and tell us, oh, if we don't vote for Kamala, then what? Trump wins and then y'all really fucked. To which I've had multiple chatters in here, most famously from former YouTube segments, Cagnadian, say that this is the peak of American liberalism. This is what you expect people to contend with. Please lay out a detailed plan. Well, one, you had it during COVID, so the detailed plan is already there. Once a certain amount of the sectors can't go to work, They give you money. They literally folded without even comparison. They just folded straight, raw folded. And you don't think you could just do that again? You think they're gonna fire you all? There's not enough people, remember? Remember? How am I getting a reaction? How? Think for a second. What could we possibly right now have to say that couldn't be a continuation of this conversation instead of an argument? She was very clear in her distinction. Americans of all creeds and colors have donned the U.S. military uniform, gone to other countries, and killed them. Then you allow whoever you want to occupy space in our territory for their and your own private interests. Not you, the person, but no matter how you explain it, sweetheart, that's what they do with our funds. That's just what happens. What do you want us to do? Are you starting to realize that you're powerless in this bourgeoisie liberal system? Is it working for you? Do you feel democratized yet? Has capitalism really panned out if the people who have the most money can support self-flagellating dickheads like Donald Trump? What are you doing? What are you doing? Ask yourself that question. What are you doing? Living life, right? Being able to get every win, every single place you can get it. Because the struggle is real for black people in this country. She never denied that. But you know what you could do to get out of that struggle real quick? Go sign up for the military. Boom, out of there. Oh, but you know, Paradigm, about the military-industrial complex and how they've tricked black and brown youth by staying in underdeveloped areas. And it all goes back down to a system of colonization, which is exactly what she said. And that's why I said at the beginning of this, you're probably not ready to have this conversation. Because it would make you level with everything that I've ever done for anybody everywhere has all capitulated to that one bomb that got sent over to kids in Palestine. You don't want to think about your noble-esque soul being used as funnel fuel for this death and destruction. Well, sorry, but other people can't see it that way. So yes, a Kamala presidency isn't going to stop the bombing. Because by the time it happens, how many Gazans will be left? Joe Biden the president right now. We're protesting. Kamala, you can't hide your genocide. Good pressure. If you do not break away from Biden and say, I'm coming after Netanyahu, okay, it's not going to stop it. So what do you expect people on the ground to look at when you say, let's go, it's brat time, Trump is done, baby? In my last piece, the last long one that I did, I said, money won't bring back my friends. Kamala won't bring back their loved ones, who are also my friends in this dichotomy. That sense of irony hasn't been lost on me in any way. What does it matter if you explain it concretely? You explain it factual. At some point, it just gets materialistically draining. And when you have nothing left, all you have left is to scream into the void. Remember that void? Well, welcome to it. Other people see us like this because they don't have the luxury of experiencing the oppression that we experience. She never said in any of that shit was fucked up. She never said in any of that we have the affordability. Nope. Just the reflection of what the empire does to other countries shakes you to your core so much that you created an entire realm of discourse all spun around this girl being wrong. So let's, now that we've broken this down for 22 minutes, let's take a look at the actual replies.
I would be one of those.
If you would have see how I come to
that one man who weaponized the Congolese genocide to silence that Palestinian woman to explain why he's voting for Kamala Harris is the nastiest form of cognitive dissonance I think I've ever seen. Because what has Kamala said about the Congo? What's her plan or platform for those people?
Absolutely nothing.
To continue to let it bleed. To cherry pick one Israeli to make the boogeyman, like Israelis are not directly funding Kamala Harris's campaign, is just willful ignorance. Because you can't actually think she's going to stop Israelis from exploiting African people. Here goes an article that was published this year that states that the Congolese government, as well as the Biden administration, you know, the administration Kamala is currently part of, is looking to reduce those sanctions against that boogeyman. And I know y'all don't like to read, so I'll summarize it. They're not stopping the bleeding. They are simply going to liberalize the exploitation until people can no longer call it slave labor. Telling a Palestinian woman she's ungrateful for calling out your performative activism and hypocrisy is crazy. Using your own people's suffering to do so is even crazier. If y'all are going to vote like your parents, be silent like them too. You go into that booth alone. It's a private matter. Get offline coping and weaponizing your identity.
Okay, so this is where I started to have a stroke of like insanity, and this is why I wanted to talk about it so badly. Because I can already see where the error in my rage was when I even first heard that people were attacking that poor girl for expressing herself with feelings and not by your dichotomy of please do what we want. Maybe it's my overexposure to dead bodies on the internet, but you know, we've been there since I was young. We all have. And if you haven't, God bless you. This is my take. Why are you online talking? Why are you like coming on this app? Why do y'all have accounts? Why are you making videos? That's the core of it. You guys want to hear yourselves talk. You feel like you're talking about me. Listen, whoever was already not going to vote for Kamala because of the genocide are not the people she was talking to. You've already won those people over. You've got them to do what you wanted to do. Leave everybody else the fuck alone. Why is it that everybody has to be on tune with you? Peak American copal, peak American liberal copium, high grade, ultra dose. It's like sniffing NOS, but for cope. We are fighting like traumatized siblings. It's sad. The fact that Lean never told people who to vote for or even brought up black people when she's been called anti-black is wild. We all need to unite because we have one enemy, and it is imperialism. Cope and all. That's a better one. I'm not smart at these things. If you're going to vote like your parents, be silent like them too. Which leads us to the key center here.
I'm going to keep this thing brief, but you pro-Palestine accounts are ruining the movement for the Palestinians. I'm going to leave it at that. Because y'all getting on here telling Americans what to do with their government? Yeah. Nah, that ain't it.
So now that I spent 26 fucking minutes prepping you for these short ass videos, you can see where my anger is starting to rise from. Because in my head, I looked at that girl's video as an honest testament to what American imperialism does to a human soul. Apparently, so does these bots that be popping up in my chat. I am Robot, best views ever. Tell Hassan, raid me right now. Raid me and then start your stream over again. How about that? The expectation of us to sacrifice ourselves is just insane to me. How does that make sense? We can't help anybody if we don't help ourselves. How did you get there, you fucking asshole? Is what she's saying to you. That's what she's saying to you. Is how did you get there? How did you're saying it out loud. You want us to sacrifice ourselves? They're sacrificing themselves by our dollar. Cognitive dissonance. You can't say it out loud without being like, hold up, wait. But this person, this. I literally don't get what their goal is. Don't vote to protest, then Trump wins, and that helps Palestine. How? Who said don't vote? Who said don't vote? Who was talking to you? Are you going to vote for Kamala regardless of the genocide? Then it's not about you. You're going to do the opposite, and you're just going to vote whatever way you want. Shut the fuck up about it and just go do it. You could just shut the fuck up about it. 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 Shut the fuck up about it then. Why are you on this app talking? Like, I've asked, what do they want us to do? Who should we vote for? What about our lives in America? What about us? What about us? Thank you for this, because I feel bullied and I was born here. I'll start caring about what's happening elsewhere once I have stability. Until then, all I can do is swipe. I'm hearing you literally discard this genocide that you were ready to say all eyes on Gaza, all eyes on Rafah, because some people on TikTok upset you. Who are these children? Who are these niggas? We need to stay away from these niggas.
The government, nigga.
Who are these niggas?
I cried laughing when I read
You know what I'm saying? like, we need to stay away from these.
I told them that I couldn't just not vote for anyone because that would endanger my life and they called me selfish. You found a comment with 4 likes. Right, they think I'm supposed to lay my life on the line for them, which will never happen. Question, what's your solution? I've brought this up 3 times already. I'll bring it up a grand total of 4 times, especially one for the YouTube video. 1, let the Republican Party sink into the abyss. The Democrats are going to win regardless of the situation that we're in right now, regardless of what's going on inside or outside of any other country. So we're moving past that point already. Here's what needs to happen. You need to take you need to make this race as tight as possible. You need to withhold every single vote. You need to withhold all your labor exactly 3 weeks before the election. Turn that block on 3 weeks, exactly 21 days before the election. Turn this block on that says we're not going to go to work. We're not going to do anything until you call for a ceasefire before we go to the booth. Lock it down. Once week 1 passes, the American empire will lose exactly $16.4 billion. At that point, they will feel extremely threatened. The first thing they're going to do is try to buy you out. They'll say, oh, we'll just get scabs or whatever. It's not going to work because you have a solid block. You're going to have communities set up that can shut themselves down and function the way they need to function, whether it be through food stamp sharing, whether it be through community kindness with the gentrifiers that put money in to people's hands to buy groceries, share rent strikes, whatever you got to do. That has to be organized and it has to happen exactly starting 3 weeks before the election. That's step 2. Step 3 of this insane plot of mine is, you see how people are constantly saying that Kamala Harris should vote for a ceasefire, right? Okay, instead of saying you're going to call for a ceasefire when you get it, tell them we won't vote for you until you change Joe Biden's mind too. Make him call for a ceasefire and tell them to do it before the debate. Or get one of the debaters to make sure that they say, do you agree with a ceasefire? Will you call for that during your presidency? You have to do these 3 things. The American military-industrial complex can collapse. No. Don't get me wrong here. And this is for the YouTube too. Don't get me wrong here. This is all pipe dream. This is if life was perfect. If everything was a grand total of the police would not pull you out of your homes and shoot you for being a Hamas supporter, this would be a perfect plan. I know it's not gonna work, but black man can dream, can he? But these should be the questions these should be the conversations that should be happening. Instead, we see quite literally, there was a creator talking about how we need to put the masks on ourselves first airplane, and I was like, damn, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Sprayed clouds don't weigh anything.
You see how I...
What are Kamala's qualifications?
She's a woman. How is that being president?
Qualification.
Of course it is. Wow, guys get to run the country for 400 years. A woman never gets a chance.
Just because she's a woman?
100%.
You don't think education...
And she's a minority. We need a minority back in office too.
The 2 things that I said.
I said I didn't want to get political. You were asking me, so I'm answering your question.
So her only qualifications are that she's an African American and she's a woman?
And she got that wop on her.
You don't know anything.
I know everything. I'm the political guy here. I have the table.
Tell me about the immigration policies about Kamala.
I think they're going to be perfect.
15 million immigrants coming across the border?
Government propaganda, once again, it's not true.
Alright, so we'll walk over the fucking table.
Dude, this is getting too far. I don't want to get political, bro. I'm just trying to enjoy my day.
You're chasing clout. You want to
Chasing clout?
Yeah, you want
I'm not even on socials.
Dude, you just said her 2 qualifications is she's a woman.
And she's a minority.
And
You want me to say it again?
Anything else?
And she got that wop. I said that and you got angry.
You want to talk? Then give me facts.
I said I didn't want to get political, though, and you're making me get political.
Change my mind.
Change my mind.
Change my mind. I'm supporting Trump.
You don't seem like you want your mind changed, though.
Tell me about her foreign policy, any monetary policy, fiscal policy. Let's hear it. What do you know?
They're all perfect. They're all money in the bank.
What are Kamala's
So good.
Skip. Stay demure. Voting for Kamala is considered the lesser of two evils because you can't do shit for Palestine if the country falls under an openly fascist regime. You can't do shit for Palestine if the country forces all public school students to enlist in the military anyway. You're not going to be that worried about shit going on abroad when Trump's regime starts rounding up all brown people to deport them. In summary, there is not much you can do abroad if your rights get taken away domestically. What is happening in Palestine is wrong, and it's wrong that our government supported it. However, no matter who was president, Israel was likely going to get aid because the U.S. sees them as an ally. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were not cutting them checks by themselves.
And that's the other side of the conversation. That's it. In the UK, the far-right politician referred to Kamala Harris as an African woman. Oh, man. Oh, man. I already like you because I like the way you vibe in. Oh, man, brother. The way we abolish race tomorrow. Because, yeah, they see anybody with anything of a tinge of a tan and black. Anyway, before I get into the next video, that's the other side of the conversation, and I don't understand how it's not easy for people to understand that as well. So I'm starting to think if there are two takes on both sides that could meet at the middle, I wonder if quite possibly maybe the rest of the conversation shouldn't be happening. So I wonder how could this conversation be real then? It's been 35 minutes. At the beginning of this video, I told you that I thought it was a psyop. Now you can understand why I think it's a psyop.
You see how multiple creators.
Okay, so I didn't really necessarily want to touch this conversation with the 10-foot pole, but then I was like, I need to touch it with the 10-foot pole, so let's talk about it. Now, if you built your For You page like I have, brick by brick, it is likely that you are abreast of this conversation that has been going on between these two creators, specifically the videos of them going back and forth, and then, of course, the clips of their subsequent live that I think happened yesterday of them having a conversation amongst each other, right? Like I said, didn't particularly want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because the conversation is truly about everyone being correct and everyone being dead ass the fuck wrong. Period. And judging by the conversations that have, devolved on my For You page, I fear that a lot of us lack the ability to hold those two realities in the palm of our hands. The first thing that I want to say and need to say desperately is that in order to enact radical change on this planet, on this world, and build up global solidarity, it's going to take a lot of humbling, and it's going to take a lot of us to stand united against centuries of divisive language that has been infiltrated amongst all marginalized, oppressed groups of the world by the powers that be. Because mind you, being Black American and being pro-Palestinian is not mutually exclusive, though a lot of people online are acting and talking as if those two things are mutually exclusive, right?
For creators reacting to this is your moment to pause the video and do the react. Okay, let's continue.
I don't think y'all really get what we are going against. If we are trying to actually radically, fundamentally change how this world works, you have to radically, fundamentally change how you engage with these conversations. And like
Now, I do understand that this 38-minute going on probably 40, I'm probably not going to finish with it until it's an hour. Could have been summed up in this 5-minute video, but I'm doing this to cover what I believe needs to be covered, which is how conversations originate. No more do you have to dissect each piece of ever. I'm just going to give it to you the whole story. Once this video is done, this is the framework you work off of now. No others. It's going to take a while and it's going to hurt because it's going to require you to shut up. But I promise you,
Like I said, these two are both dead ass right and dead ass wrong. Because the truth of the matter is, the very same people are behind the oppression of both groups in both situations, which I think everyone fails to understand, and which gets pushed to the background when you say this conversation is a Black American versus pro-Palestinian thing. The truth is, we're being screwed by the same fucking people. And this us versus them mentality is something that they've created. We are fighting and arguing with each other within a binary, within a paradigm that the people that are oppressing us.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did pre-watch this part of the video because my girl was playing it right next to me and I heard that word pop out. Don't do it, don't react, don't even put it in the chat, don't even put it in the YouTube comments, don't do it. Just, it's okay. I smiled already.
There is no such thing as us versus them when it comes to marginalized people, when it comes to building global solidarity. It's all of us against the people that have been propagandizing you to believe that one of our group's freedoms is at the expense of the other. When in actuality, we will all be freed if we go against collectively the same people. I feel like the first step really into building radical global solidarity is to leave your ego at the motherfucking door and understand that we have to hold space for us to not interact with each other 100% correctly, to hold space for us to maybe hurt each other's feelings, and to hold space for us to have open conversations on how to traverse the obstacles that we are going to have to traverse, because we have been programmed to not work with each other, but to work against each other. And what I mean by that truly is they have spent unforeseen amounts of money, unforeseen amounts of time in order to solidify this us versus them dynamic that you guys continue to play within to this day. It's not for us. We are fighting each other within the confines and the borders of what the oppressor wants us to fight amongst each other about, in the way that they want us to fight amongst each other. I'm sorry to burst a lot of y'all bubble, but creating global solidarity is more than having several fucking flags in your damn bio. Okay? On top of that, Black Americans, you know, again, like I've said this, people have been asking about my political takes, my political opinions, baby. I'm never going to tell you. I walk a fine line, and that line will not be defined for you. As we've all kind of said, a lot of what people are going to do has already been decided. Already. There's a very small sliver of people that is undecided about what they're going to do come November. But what I do want Black Americans to understand, Black Americans specifically, who have been very blue MAGA, who have been very much pro Kamala and anti any critiques on her, you have got to understand that global politics are 100% defined by the people we put into power in our own country. And furthermore, just because you're Black in America does not mean that you are not privileged in many, many fucking ways. Because the true understanding of intersectionality is understanding that based on your identity, you are privileged and disadvantaged in many ways, in many forms, all the time, constantly. And all I will say is whoever you vote for, your comfort and your peace of mind come at the direct expense to people in the global South, and it would behoove you to understand that in this moment. That's all I will say. If you're interested in the podcast, link in the bio. New episode coming out shortly.
Love that.
Month.
Might have to check that out. Now, you're wondering why I didn't just put a compilation of that and a little bit of context in between the clips. Make it a real short video. Ba-boom! Great thing! Because I feel this. And I wanted you to see how I got to where I got. I don't think people have leeway in conversations to be humble. Because fish are aquatic what? Aquatic what? I don't think people recognize conversations for what they are anymore. I think we've all kind of just fell into the honeypot trap of, I guess. Well, what happens when you have to stop guessing and start thinking? You are privileged in ways that other human beings will never experience. And the fact is that you yourself hate that fact. That's it. I hate it about being an American as well. At the end of the day, it's about capitalism to me. crowdsourced capitalism, but capitalism nonetheless, because once my ad revenue kick up, But I was already at the point of knowing that years before before TikTok was a thing. But not everybody else had the time to think about that shit. So now everybody's gonna get angry at each other and start throwing little barbs left and right. Oh, you think you're right. Oh, you think you know everything. Because we're not at a point in time where conversations can be had where there's no victor. That's why when I see people post transphobic shit, that's when I see people get duped by media. I'm just like, I'd just rather not talk to you. Because once I bring it up, you're going to be like, why are you trying to cancel me? Even though I have people who have literally had the same conversations with me that I've had with you. And get it and be like, yo, this person never trying to G-check me. Usually when he speaks about something, nah, that. I know if he talking about it, if he had to come and say something to me, then it's probably something I should look into. Because otherwise you're left alone. I've posted pretty things. Let's say this person has posted pretty weird things from time to time. He don't be checking all that shit. I don't need to. You could have opinions. Some of them can be very bigoted. I'll let you have bigoted opinions. Maybe I'll even give you one on the app. On the app, I'm giving you one just to make you feel good for watching this entire video. If you've had experiences where all your accidents in your car have been caused by Asian people, you can say, oh, I think Asians are bad drivers. You can hold up the stereotype. There you go. I offer you one free racism. Take it. But remember that you can only do that because you're a privileged American who's allowed to say and do those things and feel that way based on experience per quota and never having the reflection of those words reach your heart in the same way because you feel like you're better than other people. You can take the racism, but the only motherfucker you can never lie to is yourself. You know when you full of shit. And everybody who participated in this conversation directly creating this pro-Palestinian versus Black Americans conversation is a fucking scumbag, a piece of shit. And I want to enjoy seeing your eyes boggle when you find out that the world isn't black and white. Deuces, my nigga, take a philosophy class. Take a philosophy class. I hate these people. Bob, if you got to the end of the video, comment a number and I'll give you a lifetime subscription to my Twitch channel. LMAO. Big money, salvia. Big money, salvia. Big money, salvia, salvia, salvia.